How you doing, everybody? Joe Henry, Lake of the Woods Tourism, and I'll tell you what, when you're in the North Woods here, one of the seasons that's actually the most popular for walleye fishing, for saugers, and for crappies and pike is ice fishing. We get ice up here that's so thick that we can drive our vehicles on it. We take sleeper fish houses. We have permanent fish houses. I mean, people have a hoot going out in a fish house, 70 degrees, and catching walleyes through the ice. And no better place to do it than the walleye capital. Now, the equipment we use in a fish house is going to be different. You're not casting, you're not trolling. You use small rigs like this. You got rod and reels with the little, rods, and you jig. And what happens is we have electronics we use called a Vexlar, and you watch those fish come through, and you can see where they are in the water column and how they react to your lure. So what happens? You jig them up, and bang! When they hit, you set that hook, and now the fight's on. So you're fighting a fish like this through a fish hole. Now, you're jigging, so a lot of times what we do is the tackle industry has defined the different kind of lures to really get those fish to respond. Take a look at some of these lures we use. To give you an example, I'll pull this one right here. This is called a buckshot rattle spoon. Now, little things, look at, they use a certain kind of paint that glows in the dark. They got different kind of course, holographic sides to it that represent different types of bait fish. When you shake it, there's actual rattles in there that actually rattle, and that, of course, teases a walleye's lateral line. They hone in on that like a school of minnows. You can see the different shapes here, the different sparkles. Oftentimes what we'll do is we'll take a piece of a minnow, maybe a minnow head, and we'll tip that treble hook on here with that minnow head, and that's one more thing to entice those fish. We always have two. In Minnesota, we can use two fish holes. We use one rod in the summer, that's legal, and then we can use two when we're ice fishing. One of them we jig, and the other one we put a bobber with a live minnow about 6 inches off the bottom. That's called the dead stick. What happens is when you jig those fish, if they're active, they'll hit that jigging stick. If they're not active, you'll jig them in, and they'll slide over and hit that moving minnow. They'll watch it for a while, and pretty soon your bobber goes down. But that just kind of gives you a little bit of insight of the ice fishing industry up in Minnesota. It's big business, it's a lot of fun, and it's not cold like most people think. So if you want to find out more about catching fish through the ice up in Lake of the Woods, Minnesota, check out our website. It's lakeofthewoodsmn.com.